Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Anupji. Thank you, Dr. Das, for inviting all of us. And it has been a great pleasure listening to all the veterans, both international and from India. Very, very great learning exercise. And thank you very much. Being the last speaker, one has to be more careful about time, which I will be. Uh, as you rightly mentioned, that while a lot of things go on, but the private sector also has its own role to play. We as a family, we as a company have been around for about 80 years plus, and we always believed in being part of the society and doing something for the society, for the environment, etc. So, as part of that, we have been attending to a couple of things which are important and are becoming more critical. One is the climate change as an issue, which is affecting many things. And in the context of ocean, I think oceans are one of the most affected areas. And when you say ocean, the undersea ocean, the marine life, the fishery, the shipping industry, there are a lot of things happening. So that's one area that we are attending to. And what can be done about climate change and how can you reverse it? Again, using ocean. So that's one area. The second one is that as a world which is growing exponentially in the IT, digitalization, etc., I think the role of the minerals and the metals, and especially now the word critical has been added to the word minerals and metals. So this has also become very important. I'll just deal with these two subjects as quickly as I can. And then, so on the climate change front, we've recognized for last almost 15, 20 years that this is something which is like a slow poison. It is affecting the whole earth, many vulnerable sectors, agriculture, rural areas, ocean, fisheries, etc., etc. But we human race seems to be quite unaware that while we continue to work and live with more and more power and energy and all that, that to fossil power. So with the result that we keep on sending a lot of carbon dioxide into the air and create more and more climate change and also acidify the oceans, which is affecting the ocean life. So we are doing two things about that. One is we identified that in order to pull out the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and from the ocean, you what you need is a vegetation which can grow very quickly and need CO2. So we have been working for the last about 7, 8 years on seaweeds which grow in the sea. You don't need land, you don't need water, you don't need fertilizer, nothing. And the crop cycle is so short, only 45 days. So you can easily take 6, 7, 8, 9 crops in a year and it pulls out the CO2. So that's one. In turn, it gives a great biomass which can be very useful and is a source of many things: food, cattle feed, fertilizer, um, uh, pharmaceuticals, nutraceuticals, even bioplastics can be made out of seaweed. So that's one area of focus that we have been giving. And we have been working with Dr. Das and MRC on promoting this through youngsters and how can we invite more youngsters to join in that. So we are also working closely with the coastal communities, fishermen included, but also other coastal communities. Of late, we have also started interacting with the shipping industry, which also is one of the very big contributors to the climate change by using one of the dirtiest fuels, the what they call bunker oil, which is a very dirty fuel, generates a lot of not only carbon dioxide but also black smoke and all that. They want to shift to safer fuels which are renewable. So biomethanol, and we as a chemical company are looking at how can we get into that and also use the port facilities, the shipping facilities for doing that. So this is one area of climate change, using seaweeds for reversing and also producing biomass, producing technologies which are useful for the climate change management. So that's one area that we are working on. The second area is the critical minerals, and I was very happy to hear Dr. Geoffrey Gresh talking a lot about Japan. I would say the Japanese have been very great at doing this. The Taiwanese have been very good, but all these are countries which are highly vulnerable to Chinese threats. So I think we need alternate sources. The whole world needs more sources from where it can be done. India has taken a good lead in looking at the semiconductors, the renewable energy, the solar power, the electric vehicles, etc. But none of these can work unless you have the critical minerals available. India fortunately has some, but the oceans are again a great source. The nodules that you talked about, I think they are a great source. India's very long coastline of nearly 8,000 kilometers. And there are active institutions in India which are looking at the nodules available on the ocean bed, how to find out, identify, and how do you extract them. And after they are brought to the surface, then how do you extract the metals and the minerals out of that, which is where we are collaborating with them. So this is what we are doing. And only 2 days back, I was in the city of Bhubaneswar in the state of Orissa in India, which is full of lot of minerals. There are excellent institutions, both of government and private, and we are collaborating with them to see how we can help in doing this. And I think China dominates in many fields. This is one of them, but they also dictate their own terms. And I think the world needs alternate sources of supply. I hope India will soon become one of them. Indian government is very supportive both of the climate change, seaweeds, as also the critical mineral extraction. So we are participating in both of them, and we look forward to working with all of you and helping the world cope with some of these problems and opportunities. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Das, for inviting me. Thank you, Anupji.